All right, so we're on day 3 of the review module before SC Ready, hopefully. So we're looking at comparing and ordering rational numbers. So for these, you're putting less than, greater than, or equal to. And so to prove these, instead of just guessing, we need them in the same form. Okay, so either fraction with common denominator, decimal, percent. We're going to do decimals here. So 3/10 as a decimal reads like this. That's basically a decimal fraction kind of thing. So that's 3/10. Do remember that if you need to divide it, this is how you would divide to get to 3/10. Okay. Now, that's not super useful but yet because there's 2 decimal places here. So let's make it 2. So now it's 25 hundredths and 30 hundredths. 25 is less than 30. Okay, number 2. 3.5, 3 1/5, 3.15. So let's go to decimal. To go from percent to decimal, you put the decimal at the end if you don't see one. Then regardless of where the decimal is, you move it left 2 places because you're dividing by 100. So it's 3.15. Okay. Now here, let's just make this one 3.50. Just add a decimal there. And then 1/5. Okay. You divide, top dog in the doghouse. And that's going to be 0.2. So 3.2 is that 1/5 is what the 0.2 was. And then we can add a 0 on the end. Okay, so least to greatest, they would be in this order 315%, 3 1/5, and 3.5. Okay. Here I put make equivalent ratios with common denominators. That's the way I prefer. If you did do decimals, that's okay. All right, so we have 17/20ths, and now we have 4/5. So if we're going to put 4/5 over 20, that's what equivalent ratios means, like that. So that's times 4. If you do it on the bottom, you do it on the top. So we have 16/20ths right here. So 17/20ths is greater than 16/20ths. Okay, so here we got 2 decimals. We need the same number of decimal places. So just add that 0 on the end. 7.90 is greater than 7.09. All right. All right, I added a 0 here. I'm going to make this one a decimal. There's no decimal, so we just put it at the end and move it left. 0.62. 0.60 is less than 0.62. Okay, here we just need to make this one a decimal. Now you're like, wait, there's a decimal already. Yeah, but it's a percent. Make a percent to a decimal. So out of 100, so it's 0.027. So when you compare the tenths place right here, 0 and 2, then this 2 is greater than that 0. You could do that also. All right. Here we have 0.375, and we need to do 3/8. So we're going to do 8 into 3.000. 8 times 3 is 24. 8 times 7 is 56. And 8 times 5 is 40. Oops. 0.375. And those are equal. All right, number 8. Least to greatest here. Okay. So here we have 5.1. We can put 5.10 there. Okay, so now we just have the 1/20th. So for the 1/20th, we go 20 into 1.00. 20 doesn't go into 10. 20 does go into 100 5 times. So it's 0.05. So that means this is 5.05 because the 1/20th is 0.05. Therefore, our correct one here is 5.02, 5 and 1/20th, and 5.1. All right, and then the last one here, we have 0.45, negative 4.5, negative 4/5, we have 4.5%, and 4 and 1/5. Okay, so I said put them all in the number line as decimals. All right, so 0.45, pretty straightforward, just slightly less than 0.50, which is 1/2. Oops. The next one, we have negative 4.5, already a decimal. And for some reason, I have a number line that ends at -4, which doesn't make sense, but negative. So it's between -4 and -5. So that's actually right there. Rather silly of me there. That's okay. All right, -4/5. So we need to make 4/5 to a decimal. It doesn't matter that it's negative, it's still the same process here. Okay, so that's 0.8. So it's negative 0.8, which is closer to -1 than 0. All right, 4.5%. When you make 4.5% a decimal, you move it 2 places to the left. So it's 0.045. 0.045 is going to be really close to 0. Okay, because if you think about it, there's 100% in one whole, so 0.045 is very close to 0. All right, and then 4 and 1/5, again, this number line should have gone to 5. All right, but now let's just make sure we convert the 1/5 to a decimal. 5 into 1. All right, and then 5 times 2 is 10. If they were to give you a calculator like on one like this one, let's see, ready? Then you just type 1 divided by 5 and it will give you the decimal. Doubt they would though. So then that means this is 4.2. All right, make sure you have all the work shown here and then turn in your day 3 review.